in a heterosexual relationship,
Yeah.
what is it that men really want and that women really want? And if each opposite knew this, they would have a much better relationship.
I think for men, the ability to be completely unapologetically themselves and have their needs predicted is something they can't do anywhere else in the world. What I mean by that is for women, my best friend, for example, she'll know when I'm feeling low and she might get me a chocolate. Or my other best friends, I know I can call her when I'm stressed, sad, whatever it is. I can outsource this ability to have my needs met and without saying a word, because women tend to be quite emotionally intelligent, and I have the ability to be myself, vulnerable, happy, sad, whatever it is. For men in the real world, they have to be a man. They have to wear a bit of a mask. So they have to look like they've got it put together. They have to look like they're in control. They have to look. So if they can go home where they can take the mask off and still be loved and appreciated, and appreciation for them isn't just a quick thank you. It's also like, I know you're tired. I know you're hungry. I know you need to get up early. So I'm putting the kids to bed. I'm just turning the volume off. I know you need to get to bed. That is a form of appreciation for them. So I think if they have a woman or an environment where they can take the mask off and their needs can be predicted, it's something that they think they can only dream of. They don't know that that actually exists for them. Would you agree, or do you what do you think from your perspective as a man? I'd be interested.
I think I can speak from my perspective and maybe like male friends that I talk to who are, business owners who have, multiple responsibilities beyond themselves, and they have lots of employees or something like that, or a brand or something, is that there is a weight. There is a weight that these men feel and that I feel at times. And I'm not saying, oh, woe is me, I have a weight or something. It's just, you've got to show up responsible for people more than just yourself. You've got to show up and deliver, not once in a while, but every single day.
Yeah.
And I welcome the responsibility. I'm blessed to have the opportunity and the responsibility to have a vessel physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually to carry the weight that has been provided for me. I'm blessed, and that's why I train myself physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to take it on where it feels light.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't weigh me down. But that doesn't mean there aren't days when it isn't challenging.
Yeah. And
just wanting to be able to go and relax and feel peace at home is the highest currency.
Mm-hmm. And
feeling accepted and having a sense of peace.
Yeah, and what would that look like for you? From you?
I mean, I get it almost every night, so I feel blessed, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I feel even more peace because of that. Why I'm blessed is because I know the complete opposite of it. I know and I'm not blaming anyone.
No.
This is just, I know what it felt like to not feel that.
Yeah.
And it feels more weight is piled on top of you. And I'm not saying it's the woman's responsibility or this and this. It's really just, I didn't choose correctly, and that's okay. And I didn't communicate the right way, and I had healing to do and all sorts of stuff. So
I would agree. I think peace is definitely created. I know a lot of men say they want peace, but usually the men that are like, dying for peace and can't find it, it's either they've chosen super chaotic, but they might be engaging behaviors that are also not conducive
100%.
to peace.
They don't have self-control.
They don't have self-control. They're coming home late, they're drinking too much, they're watching pornography, and then they scream at their wife like, why can't you give me peace? But honestly, when you meet a man who selects wisely and has self-control, peace is an inevitable outcome.
Yes.
He doesn't have to ask for it.
So I'm hearing you say like a man that can have someone meet their predictable needs, correct?
As a form of appreciation.
As a form of appreciation, which there might be women saying, well, how am I going to predict when he can't predict what I want? When he's not reading my mind, when he's not, there for me when I tell him everything's fine, but I actually have an attitude and I'm not showing that everything's fine. How am I supposed to predict and be there for him if he can't do that for me?
Because you have to ask yourself, do I like that he doesn't do that for me? Do I like that experience of him not seeing it, not doing it, so and so? If I don't like it, then surely why would I create that also? Why would I emulate a behavior I dislike? So perhaps you can role model the behavior you like and also manage your expectations. What I mean by this is when somebody isn't predicting your needs, men and women, or isn't doing it, is it deliberate? Is it that, I'm not going to do it for you? Or is it a case of, I didn't know, let me help? So the reality is, are you communicating it before you get angry?
And communicating early on. Not after you're married and then saying, this is what I need.
Yeah.
But actually communicating it early on. This is something that I did differently, and so did Martha. We communicated early on, this is what I'm going to need now. This is what I'm going to need in the future. It's not like these crazy needs.
No.
It's just like, this is to be in a committed relationship, to commit and be all in and be giving and of service and thinking about a future together.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to need. And here's what I'm willing to do. Here's what I'm not willing to do.
And it's so wild because if any job description, anything like that, we'd want to know exactly what to do in order to get them to get promoted or whatever it is.
And it doesn't mean it's not going to grow and evolve, and there's going to be, flexibility, but it's like, at least communicate the basic needs.
But people have this arrogance where they're like, if I have to communicate, it's not real, because they watch too many movies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So what's happening, especially in Western culture, in any other culture, in any other period of time, it's like, of course you tell people what you want. How else are they going to know? But in this world, especially because of movies and shows and songs, it's taught us that if we have to explain it, then that person doesn't love you. They should be able to mind read and predict and stuff. And then it creates the ingredients for a distant relationship emotionally. So I think communicating effectively is essential.
So what is it that if a man truly knew what a woman wanted, they would have a happier, healthier relationship?
It's difficult because it all depends on if you've chosen a woman who's healed and not so chaotic. Essentially what they want is to be protected in a way that nobody else can. And what I mean by protected, it can be financial, emotional, whatever it is. But it's a way, if I'm protecting my woman emotionally, I'm not engaging in behaviors that will humiliate or hurt her. If I'm protecting her financially, it means I'm giving her my best. Doesn't mean I'm giving her everything, but the best I can do. If I'm a taxi driver, I'm covering what I can cover. But if I'm somebody who's frugal with her, she will always feel like she's more powerful than you. And whenever she feels like he's not protecting, she feels more powerful, and then she becomes disrespectful. But when she has a man that's protective of her, both her safety, her emotions, and finances, she then allows him to take control. And whenever we feel more powerful than a man, we feel unsafe. And that unsafety makes us disrespect him and then look for other men.
Wow.
It's almost evolved. So therefore, if it can protect us in those ways, we remain feeling safe. So it's essential. What happens with housewives is because they're feeling they haven't fulfilled their potential completely in their mind. I'm not saying that they haven't, but in their mind, they feel lonely. They feel super lonely because they almost feel like they're a slave to the child for the first couple of years. And whereas before in our mums' generation and their generations, there'd be so many other mums, there'd be so many